Welcome to Connecticut at your service. My name is Dion Pulcinella, and here at Connecticut at your service, we strive to engage, inform, and entertain by bringing you amazing guests in our community to talk about the fascinating things they're doing. And thank you to Carmen Nieves, who allowed me to step in for her today. So today is no different. We are bringing to you Reginald David, reporter with the CT Mirror. And Reginald, welcome back to CT at your service. And Reginald is the community engagement reporter for the CT Mirror. He builds relationships across the state of Connecticut, to elevate community voices and deepen public dialogue around local issues. Previously, he was a reporter or a producer at KCUR 89.3, Kansas City's NPR station, where he created community-centered programming, led live event coverage for major events like the NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl Parade, and Royals Opening Day, and launched KC Soundcheck, a music series spotlighting local and national artists. Reginald has also hosted special segments, including an in-depth interview with civil rights leader Alvin Brooks, and live community coverage on issues like racial segregation and neighborhood development. He began his public media career as Integrity in News intern at WNPR in Hartford. So welcome, Reginald. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Dion. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So before we get started on the whole reason you're here, give us a little bit of background. Tell us about yourself.
Yes.
Are you originally from Bridgeport?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I was born here, raised here. Bridgeport is a place I call home. I sort of got my start in the media career. In college, went to Kansas City, started interning with the KCUR, with the NPR station in Kansas City. That's where I got my start. I started working as an intern, and I was a producer on a morning show, worked as an intern, and, worked my way up to a full-time producer, and, just sort of fell in love with media. And, doing this, I feel like I'm walking in my purpose. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else.
That's excellent. So tell me, was there a moment in your childhood or something that happened that said, I want to be in media? What told you that? Was there like that spark? Or
as a child, the goal was actually to go to the NFL.
Okay.
that was the ultimate goal. But no, I knew I wanted to. I knew even as a young age, I was a people person. I was one of the kids that knew how to talk to adults. I knew that I wanted to be sort of in the spotlight in some sort, but in a capacity where I'm helping people, whether it's helping a neighbor, whether it's in sports, whether it's in community work. I was always that kid for people to lean on, whether it was friends, even playing different roles in my family. So I didn't know if media was the actual profession I was going to go into, but I knew in some capacity I would be helping people, and using my voice to spread information.
Okay, very cool. So in the intro, I mentioned that you interviewed Alvin Brooks.
Yes.
Please tell me, how did that come to happen?
Yes.
And what was that like?
So, yes, I got the opportunity to interview Alvin Brooks. He was a civil rights activist in Kansas City, a well-known. Alvin Brooks is a big figure in Kansas City. He was actually one of the first African-American police officers in the 50s, and that says a lot in itself.
Yeah.
So, being able to being able to interview him and hear his thoughts on, the way that the Kansas City was then and to where it is now. Him telling the stories of the type of things that he's witnessed, he's seen, he has, lived experience, and just the way that he navigated those challenges. Listening to him, it was amazing. He has so much, rich history to him. He's 90 something now, and his memory is still sharp. The interview was amazing. So yeah, that was a great experience. Being able to, interviewing somebody of that stature was just amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So let's see. You were in Kansas City. You were on NPR,
Yep.
doing really cool things
Yeah.
like the Super Bowl draft, NFL
NFL
draft.
yep.
How did you end up with CT Mirror?
So I got started with CT Mirror because during my time in KCUR as a producer, I was loving it. But then I got the opportunity to come back home and come back home to cover Bridgeport. Bridgeport is a city that I'm from, so when the opportunity came along, I was in Kansas City for about almost 8 years. I went to college out there, got my media career started, and then when this opportunity came along to cover my city, the city that actually raised me, it was honestly a no-brainer. And this role, once I heard about the role, the things that it entailed, I knew that this was basically the position for me, and I felt like I would have been crazy if I would have said no. So, when the opportunity came across, talking to different people, talking to my family, they were excited about it. I was excited about it. So it was a decision that I had to make.
Awesome, wonderful. So tell us about the Raising Voices Lab and how it differs than traditional journalism.
Yes, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked me that. Raises Voices Lab it's a little different from traditional reporting, I would say, because traditionally we look at reporters usually go into communities, not all, but they go into some communities already having thoughts of what they think needs to be covered. I feel like the Raising Voices Lab, it's literally doing is raising voices. I'm going into those underserved communities and raising those voices. And going off of that, part of what I want to do in my job is to report directly what I hear. Like I was saying, going back to reporters going in thinking what they think the community needs, I want to base my reporting off of exactly what I hear from the community. So, by doing different listening sessions, by having community events, by, doing man on the street, just walking around, trying to connect everyone on their level. That is, that's really what embodies the Raising Voices Lab. So, it's more on the boots on the ground approach to reporting, opposed to, just making a phone call or just showing up when something negative has happened. Raising Voices Lab, I'm here to, build that relationship. And I feel like one of the most important things about it is engaging the community, not just showing up once, showing up multiple times, and building on those relationships and having them keep going to sustain those.
All right, excellent. So I was going to ask you what inspires you, but I think you answered it by basically listening to the people.
I would definitely say that that is one of my inspirations, just literally hearing, from the community that raised me. A lot of the challenges, even some positive things, but some of the issues that do go on is something that I can relate to. I lived those exact experiences. My family still live in Bridgeport, so, I resonate very well with what I hear from the community, and I can relate wholeheartedly. So, being able to connect, with the residents and hear directly what they say is definitely one of the things that motivates me. But also, just my family as well. I have to mention them because they are the people that are surrounding me. They they'll pick me up when I'm down and things like that. So I definitely find those inspirations from the people around me in my own community.
Excellent, excellent. So I read your article on the Bridgeport Sisters at the Shore who meet to pray, and I think we have a slide on that along with some of we have another one. The other slide with, there we go. So that one's on the far right.
Yes.
So how did you learn about that group? And what did you learn in meeting with them?
So the way I found out about the group was I was actually meeting with another community member, and this is part of why I love doing what I do. Talking to different people, not knowing about so much of the positive things going on in Bridgeport is so important. So I was talking to a community member, and she mentioned that she goes to the water every weekend, Sunday, with this group, and they go there to pray. It's like, a way that they find peace. They sort of talk about different issues that's going on in Bridgeport, whether it involves them, community members, and they they find connection with each other by just, going to the water and praying. And when I was talking to the community member about that, in my head, I'm like, wow, the fact that I never heard about this, and the fact that other Bridgeport residents probably don't know about this, where they could find a lot of benefit from it. So, did my digging, found an organizer, and contacted them, and then I went to the shore, and covering the story. It was amazing, but actually, I got to actually participate with the group, and that was amazing. It was, the way I felt after connecting with the individuals is definitely something that I want everyone in the Bridgeport community to experience. And you read the story, you'll definitely tell. But Sisters at the Shore, they're an amazing group. They meet every week at the water. They pray together. They talk about different issues, and those are the type of things I want to highlight in Bridgeport. Obviously, I do have to dig and cover some of the hard-hitting issues that we all face, but it's so many positive things that's going on in Bridgeport. And like on that slide, it had a couple of other different stories that I did cover, whether it was high school girls into flag football, whether it was, Bridgeport Leadership Institute that's, training parents to be leaders, community leaders, in this space. So, highlighting those initiatives that, a lot of people probably don't know about in Bridgeport, because as you know, in the news, sometimes, the negative sometimes outweighs the good. So, in my small role, I just want to highlight those positives as much as I can.
Okay, excellent. So,
yes,
let's talk about what you're up to now.
Yes, I'm very busy.
Those are the past articles. Let's talk about what you're doing now. So, you are doing a listening session.
Yes.
So, tell us about that. And I think we have a slide that we can show about the listening session. So tell us about that.
So, to the people, I want to invite everyone to my listening session next week. Next Wednesday, September 24th. It is at the Burroughs Community Center. It is at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it is going to be a place in a time where people can uplift their voice. A lot of times, people of the community don't have an input on the stories that's being covered about their city that they live in. So this is opportunity for me in the Connecticut Mirror to, hear directly what the community is saying, and so we could directly report on the things that they're saying. So yes, I want everyone to come. Refreshments will be there. It's going to be a safe space where you can just talk about the things that's going on in your neighborhood, whether it's good, whether it is bad, whether it's something that you just have a question about, anything big or small. That space is for the Bridgeport community, and I think everyone that will be there will be able to find the benefit of raising their voice. And I'm so excited about the listening session. I'm getting goosebumps about it now, because I know it's going to be great for the community. Being able to what I hear from that listening session, being able to take that information and in real time, bringing it to my team and seeing how we can report and how to bring those stories into action, just so we can have that pipeline going. I think that is so important, and I think that is something that the community doesn't have, is that, way into the media or way into, the news or having their input on what is being covered, what directly impacts them. So yes, I want that listening session to be very, it's going to be a very fruitful event. I think it's going to be really good. I want everyone to come. That's and that's one of the things that I am doing for the Connecticut Mirror, is having those events where I'm creating those spaces for people to speak their mind.
Well, I definitely commend CT Mirror for even having this, right?
Yes,
because a lot of times when in media, the saying is if it bleeds, it leads, right? So
yes.
The fact that they want to actually spotlight positive things in the community, I think is really commendable.
Yes, and I think it's so important to do that. And I think it's the right approach as well, because we want the community to trust us. With communities like Bridgeport, even Hartford, it's a lot of mistrust. Whether it's with police, whether it's with politicians, whether it's with the media.
Right.
So by just highlighting those positives, being transparent as possible, I feel like that is something that the mayor preaches, and it's something that I definitely embody.
Excellent, excellent. Now, if residents are unable to attend,
yes,
how can they get in touch with you to express their concerns or things that they would like?
Yeah, so we are starting a community text line.
Okay.
It is in the process of being launched now. We're inviting people to sign up for the community text line, where you can literally, on the screen right there, you text the 475-325-6036 number. You text Bridgeport to that number right there. You'll opt in, and that is just a way that the community can directly talk to me, and I could directly respond to them in real time. Whether it's issues going on in their community, whether they want to highlight an event and spread the word about, they can directly contact me. Sometimes, someone might have a question about something going on in their neighborhood, like, what is the development going on over here that's been there for 3 months? In my role, I will get those answers for the community, in doing that work, just so it's proactive, just so that communication is always there with the powers that be.
Nice, very nice. Now, this will be the first session later on this month, or actually next week, I guess, right? So, do you anticipate having more of these sessions in the future?
Yes. Yes. My goal is to have. In a perfect world, I would have a listening session every month. And I say that with a smile, but in reality, that is something I do want to make possible. So yes, this is the first one. This is the first of many. It is something that I'm definitely going to build off of. And just to go a little bit deeper, I want my listening sessions, in a sense, to get better every time, and where I want to eventually broaden out to having a listening session for each specific neighborhood. Because I know that sometimes, with different challenges, some people cannot make the listening session all the way over there. So sometimes I have to meet the community where they are. And I think that is so important, by removing all the barriers. I have no issue with holding a community session, whether specifically on the East End, specifically on the East Side, regardless that they're close to each other. They are completely two different neighborhoods. So, recognizing those things and, making sure I'm being proactive and, making sure everyone feels included. So, yeah, this is the first of many. I know this one will go well because a lot of the community members are going to show up, and it's going to be a great event. But it's something that I just want to keep building on.
Nice. Very nice. So I noticed that in your articles, you're not only writing about things that residents are doing, but you're also writing about the environment.
Yes.
And that fascinated me too, that article that you wrote about the weather.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Yes.
And how did you come to, what said, this is important, let me talk about it? What was the impetus behind that content?
Absolutely. So what you actually read was like a fact brief. It is something that, us at Connecticut Mirror, we find claims that people make online, whether it's through Twitter, whether it's, through press, through interviews, whether it's through Reddit, things like that. And our job is to, find those claims and sort of see if they are true. So we sort of just fact check them. So someone made a claim about the weather, and which was kind of alarming. So, I did my digging and, found the facts to sort of back that answer up. And the one I think you are talking about was referring to is it getting hotter in America? And yes, and it actually is.
I'm going to pause you right
Absolutely.
there. We have a caller, so let's see.
Yeah.
Hello, you're on. Welcome to a little feedback there. Welcome to Connecticut at your service. Caller, do you have a question for Reginald?
Hi there. Yes, I do. I was just wondering, for the people of Bridgeport, what can we expect from Reginald that'll be different from other reporters and other journalists who have covered Bridgeport or have taken the time to engage with the community? What differentiates Reggie and what separates him from the rest?
Yes, that is a
Great
great
question.
a
Thank you,
great
caller.
question. Yes, thanks for asking that. And I would say what makes me different is my approach. I'm coming at it with a lot of passion for one, and complete honest. I want to be transparent as possible. Not to say that other reporters aren't transparent, but that is something that I will be going forward with and making sure that is my priority. I know a lot of times, trust is a hard thing to come by with community. So I plan to build that trust. I plan to engage with the community, and I plan to show up not just one time. I plan to show up repeatedly. And I am a part of this community as well. So not only do I want to help the community and hearing everything that the residents say, it's some of the stuff that I'm personally living with and have to deal with as well. So the passion is there. I don't want to be looked at as just a reporter, more like I would say a neighbor. I'm right there with the community in arms, and my job is to uplift those voices, and I'm just gonna do that the best way I can. And I think the best way doing that is to build that trust, constantly engage, and keep stacking on those efforts, and making sure I keep the community as the focus.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Now, let me ask you, are there stories that you haven't told yet? Oh, thank you, caller. Are there stories that you haven't told yet that you want to tell?
Yeah, so I'm actually working on a few different stories now. One specific story that I'm working on now is I'm working on a housing story, the state of public housing in Bridgeport, and I'm talking to a couple of different residents in the Greens Homes, Trumbull Gardens on the north, PT as well, and basically I want to tell their stories from the inside out. A lot of times people have misconceptions about people on public housing, so I want to tell their stories from the inside out, to maybe help change those misconceptions about those people there. A lot of rumors you hear is that people on public housing, they don't have jobs, but when you go visit those places around from the hours of 9 to 5, no cars are there, because these are everyday working people that have the same experiences that we have in Bridgeport. Just because they are under public assistance means no different. So I'm trying to tell those stories while still looking at some of the issues that might arise with public housing, but still showing how the community are helping themselves and using the community to keep themselves up with all the challenges that they do have to face on a daily basis.
Sure. And I'm sure stemming from that, you're going to have childcare issues too, right? That are massive, right?
Yes. That's just another one of the many issues that do arise that does need attention as well.
Sure, sure. Well, hopefully they've banded together and found a way to be able to take care of all the children while parents are at work.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, how would you advise people who are interested in getting involved in journalism?
Yes, I would say the climate it's interesting right now.
Yeah.
But I would tell anyone interested in journalism, please don't shy away. Right now is an amazing time to get into journalism. What I'm trying to do in my role is raising voices, and I feel like that's what every journalist job is, to raise voices. And if anybody is interested, kids, younger generation specifically, find your local station, whether it's TV, whether it's radio station, try to intern. A lot of the times in this business, there's gonna be a lot of learning, a lot of interning, maybe not getting paid for the work that you're doing, but it's all for the end goal, and the end goal is to have your own beat, have your own subject that you are covering. So I would say more advice would be go to your local stations, college stations, all of those help. Get that experience, getting that experience in the rooms where maybe you are in front of the camera, whether you are on the mic, do different hosting things. Get into the community. I feel like a lot of times, even with someone who might be interested in journalism, they might wait for a job or something like that. But I feel like in this day and age, you can make things happen yourself. We have these phones, they're incredible now. It's great cameras, it's great great audio. You can, make your own content. You could cover issues that you feel passionate about. And I feel like that's one thing that would be the biggest takeaway. Focus on things that you are passionate about, because that's where you'll get the best product in.
Sure, that makes sense. Now tell me what role does social media play in how you report?
Yeah, so social media plays a big part because, for one, part of this role with the Connecticut Mirror, they wanted to broaden in more into the communities that typically don't listen or focus on the CT Mirror's content. So going into those underserved communities like Bridgeport, and being able to continually to engage with them.
Nice. What story or experience have you had or written that you are most proud of?
Oh, that's tough. I would say probably my next one.
Or has it? I was gonna say, or has it been written yet?
All of my stories, I hold them dear to my heart. Each one, I take my time. Each guest that I interview, I take it personal. I make sure, that I make them feel comfortable. Anything I report on, I know it's important. Whether it might not be important to the masses, it's definitely important to that person. So I make sure that they feel that that passion there, and that they are important, that their story is important. So it's hard for me to say any specific story, but just as far as thinking, right now, maybe the Sisters at the Shore story. I would say being able to go to the shore and experience the same things that they got to experience was great, and being able to write about it, and the feedback that I got from that story was very, very amazing. Even hearing about people that are planning to go to the shore and were actually looking for that type of space. So those type of things are so fulfilling to me. That's literally why I do the work. In a long answer, I would say maybe that was my probably favorite one to date.
Okay, and if you're just joining us, we have Reginald David from the Connecticut Mirror, and we're going to put that slide back up again about how you can reach out to Reginald if there are any things that you want to talk about, or if you want to call in. Our number's 203-345-0103. If you want to call in and ask any questions, we'd love to hear from you. Do we have that slide again about how they can reach Reginald? So is that the text line, that 203-997?
So that specific number on the screen now, that is my personal cell. People can contact me there as well. My email is there as well, rdavid@ctmirror.org. I can be reached there as well. Yes, please contact me. And on the screen right now is the text line where you could directly contact me in a more fluid way. That's the text line that we're starting for the community. So please, everyone, text Bridgeport to that number on the screen. They'll be able to talk to me directly. I'll be able to respond to you in real time. So it's another tool for the community to connect with me, connect with the media, and just another way to ensure that your voice is getting heard.
Nice. Now, is that text line, is that live now?
Yes, it's live right now.
Okay.
People watching now, please punch in Bridgeport to that number right there, and you'll be opted into the text line. It's completely free, free of charge, and it's just another, like I said, it's just another way to connect with the community.
Excellent. And tell us one more time about your listening session.
Yes, please, everyone, next week, the listening session is Wednesday next week, September 24th at the Burroughs Community Center. Please come. It's at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's where people can, raise their voice, tell me about the things that they feel that are important and that they want to see covered in Bridgeport. It's a way for the community to come together and share stories and, basically raise your voice as a community.
Excellent, excellent. Can we show that slide one more time with the community center information so that folks know exactly where they're going?
Yep.
All right, so the Burroughs Community Center, Excellent.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Refreshments will be
Refreshments.
there.
I mean,
yep,
come
gotta
on,
love refreshments, please.
Come
If
on.
you want to come for that. But yes, it's going to be a great time. I'm going to have a suggestion box there as well. If people, if they don't feel comfortable talking, you can, write on a piece of paper your suggestions, your ideas, your story ideas, and things like that. So it's going to be a place where, everyone's voice will have the option of being heard. So please, everyone come. It's going to be great.
Excellent. Now, will they be able to communicate with you through the text line? So will you respond back to them? So if someone
Yes.
says, can we have another session through the text line?
Absolutely.
Would you be able to
Yes,
relay that information to them?
Yes, that is part of the reason we have the text line there to respond in real time. The phones is so important these days, and social media is so important
Absolutely.
these days. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.